All right, my boys, welcome to the FenCrazyThing number 9. Now, at the start, I gotta give you a bit of a disclaimer here because it has been a very long time since I've done any casting or streaming for that matter. I believe it was 2020, so over 5 years ago. It's gonna be a bit stressful for me. I'll do my best, it should work out, but if you notice anything wrong with the stream, or have any feedback, be free to put it in the chat. I'll try to address those issues. I have tested the setup. It should work. I updated all my software and so forth. But I'm gonna be maybe a bit slow to sort out which window to show at what time. I am completely going in cold. And it's definitely gonna get better as we go along and I get some practice into this. But now let's get started with the FenCrazyThing. The last one was also a very long time ago, I believe 2018, so 7 years ago. It was won by Barbarian, of course. It was back in the AOC user patch era. You should be seeing on screen the brackets and settings, which you might already be familiar with if your AI is participating or thought about participating. In this tournament, we have 6 participants, these being Default, the default AI, Illuminati, my own AI, Tribal by SD, Brightspark by Bandit, Naga by Promi, and GamesGod by GamesGod. Most of these matches, except for the grand final, will be played in a best of 3 with a 1v1, a 4v4, and a 2v2. If necessary, the grand final will be a best of 5, and all of these will be played on the map FenCrazy, of course. That's the point of this tournament. We've got FenCrazy. Now, the first match we'll be covering today, the first match of the tournament, will be Tribal versus GamesGod. Now, do these AIs need any introduction? Maybe. Tribal, one of the oldest AIs that is still active. And in this tournament, because it is a tournament on a map that requires versatility, there are a lot of old AIs from the AOC user patch era. Not only Tribal, also Illuminati, my AI, and the default AI and Naga are both branches of another old AI, Promi by Promi, and it became the default DE AI, and then Promi spun off Naga from that, so we have 2 AIs with the same origin. And back in the day, like I said, 7 years ago, Promi and Illuminati were the second and third best AIs on this map and in these tournaments. Back then, we had Barbarian as the best AI overall, and now we don't have Barbarian anymore. It was never updated for DE, so we don't have that anymore, but we have, or should have, a spiritual successor that kind of fills the same role as the overall best AI, and that is Immortal. But sadly, Immortal, well, as you can see, is not in this tournament because it has not been updated this year, so it is not really optimized for the new civs, the new units, all the balance changes that have happened to the game this year. So it was not included here, and it's not the only AI that I'm kind of sad we're missing in this tournament, because there was also another possible participant in The General by Leif Erikson, which also sadly is absent here. He also could not get his AI ready for the tournament in time. But we have 6 participants. This is what we got. We're starting with Tribal versus GamesGod. And I'll try to jump into the games. Now, first, let's set it up. The first game of the best of 3 will always be a 1v1. As you can see, I've already set up the civilizations for Tribal here, because this tournament is played on random civ or custom random civ. And basically, each AI will play all the civs it can play. Now, GamesGod does play all civs in the game, Tribal does not. Tribal plays all the civilizations that were available before the release of DE. So the AOK, AOC, and the Forgotten, and all the civs from the HD expansion. So basically all the civs that were available before DE came out, but the AI has been updated for DE and for the newest versions and patches of the game. So let me just check that the settings are all correct. We have a 1v1 on FenCrazy, extreme difficulty, of course. Everything looks right. Now you will notice that I have to take this option here, allow cheats, because without cheats allowed, Capture Age is not able to spectate single player games. So we have to put that on, which in theory also allows a lot of AI cheats, including accidental AI cheats. I just hope that doesn't happen. If it happens, I hope we notice, because I'm not sure if people usually test their AIs on this setting. Maybe we will find some accidental cheats, and I don't know how we're gonna address it if it happens, but it really shouldn't happen. Anyway, first game, 1v1, GamesGod versus Tribal on FenCrazy. Let us begin. Now, let's see if Capture Age works. Oh. Now, we have... Let me actually change the player names. One thing I've noticed with Capture Age spectating single player games is that if the AIs update their names, the names don't get updated on Capture Age. So I have to put them manually every time. I guess that's how it's gonna go. Now, what do we have? Oh, right off the bat, and classic, something that doesn't exist in DE anymore. It does still exist on FenCrazy though. A land nomad start, meaning this is the start you had on old land nomad, the original map. And see, this is already a terrible start for GamesGod here. It might be bugging. Anyway, land nomad start means it's a nomad start, but you don't start with enough wood for a TC. You have to build a lumber camp first. Now, as you can see, GamesGod is kind of bugged out. They started with more than 3 villages. They started with 6 villages, a scout, and 2 monasteries. As you can see, Tribal, both of them built their lumber camp in a terrible position, which I'm not sure can be easily avoided, but now we have a problem because GamesGod only built a lumber camp on a single tree. At least it found more, but it's not using its scout, curiously. I don't know why that is. Definitely a bug, definitely something he can work on. Okay, we've got enough wood for a TC from GamesGod and from Tribal. They're building it right on the lumber camp. Again, not ideal, but then again, looking at this map, there isn't really any spot to place a TC out here because you can't build it on the hills. You have to build it on flat ground. So I guess there couldn't be a great spot. Maybe GamesGod's spot is better because it is right next to this forest here. So it's gonna have a lot better time gathering resources. And Tribal, now, long hauling this food, not on wood at the moment. And GamesGod on wood, I'm not sure. Okay, it's finally using its scouts. I'm not sure if it's found any food sources. I haven't used Capture Age. Ooh, what have I done here? I also haven't used Capture Age in ages, so how do I change which player I'm spectating? Shift plus right click. So now I could see, yeah, GamesGod's POV, and you see that it has not found any food sources. There's berries right here, otherwise it will have to build farms. Now, one thing with FenCrazy, as you may or may not know, hold on, I wanted to do it so that you can see the combined fog. Oh, do combined fog like this. Yes. The resources on FenCrazy also have different resource amounts from little, or can have. Sometimes with extremes, mostly it's reasonable amounts. Okay, here you see the trees in this forest have 115 wood. And it looks like GamesGod has finally found its berry bushes. Now these berries are not very big. They only have 64, so about half of the normal amount. Tribal has found a boar somewhere and hauled it in, but also this boar has very little food, a lot less than normal. There's a boar here for... I guess I can't select it, but how much food do these boars have? Okay, no, it's 300 food, so it's not terrible. It's a bit less than normal, but it's still a good amount. I don't believe GamesGod has found its boar, though. No, it has not. But GamesGod has found Tribal.
Yeah.
And GamesGod still definitely has some issues here. Okay, it has a bunch of villagers on these berries. It has not started building farms. It has not found its boar. There was only one boar from what I've seen for each player. Tribal has taken its boar. And, well, has one farm. Still long hauling this wood here. The scout from Tribal seems to be a bit bugged out. Now they do start with 2 monasteries. I'm not sure whether they'll be using them, if these AIs like monks or not. I know Illuminati does. Illuminati is not in this game though. Let's check the other resources while we have time in the early game. Now you can see here this gold mine is pretty big. 1270 on each, 1500 on this gold pile. Stone, 1 stone pile, normal amount. Same over here. So there's definitely more gold, at least in the starting areas, than normal. Extra golds have a lot. So there's a good amount of gold on the map. There are relics as well. Seems to be like 4 or 3. Something like that. There is also water. They could dock. I'm not sure they will. I believe both of these AIs are capable of making fishing ships. Well, so far we haven't seen any docks, but the fish... I honestly don't know what the normal amount is on fish, because I never play water, but one has 223, the other is 347, so yeah, no medium amounts I would say. Let me actually check if Tribal Scout still seems to be bugged out, but has Tribal scouted GamesGod? It does not appear that way, no. So Tribal Scout bugging out, definitely not ideal for it here. GamesGod we saw earlier has already found Tribal. Now, if you're looking at the economy, because Tribal had a better start with its spore found especially. Did these take a deal somewhere? Because Tribal had a better start in the early game. Now finally GamesGod got its spore, but Tribal got it a lot earlier, so Tribal had a better start. You can see that it's already 6 villagers ahead. Both AIs have researched Loom already. So Tribal straight up 6 villagers ahead at this stage of the game is a massive advantage for Tribal. Will it translate? We'll see. So far, neither of them are actually close to going up the feudal age. Because of the small amounts of food on this map, they're gonna have to farm for it. Tribal 8 farms. GamesGod 7 farms. Pretty similar. GamesGod is now taking its boar. Will it catch up? We'll see. Tribal has finally built a much better lumber camp, as has GamesGod. So GamesGod isn't that good. Let's see how long it will take them to go up. If you're having that slow of a start on a map with little food you have to farm anyway, it's usually a good idea to go for straight fast castle and skip the feudal age. Because by the time you're clicking up to feudal, you already have so much economy that it shouldn't take much more to make the jump to castle age. You can see Tribal Scout still bugged. GamesGod has been exploring well, and it looks like Tribal stopped making villagers at 30. It doesn't want more than 30 villagers in Dark Age, so now it's just idling its TC, saving food to click up to feudal. Immediately dropping a mining camp. It has enough wood for buildings. Will it have enough food to go straight for a past castle? With 14 farms, it might. It might. GamesGod has also clicked up. 40 seconds later, still 2 villagers behind. With that, so it's overall it's like 4 villagers behind. If you take into account the age up time. Also there's a mill over here. That was the mill from the berries. Also farming. How many farms do we have for GamesGod? 15 versus 14. So similar amounts of farms from both. Barracks from Tribal. Now I have not addressed the civilizations here. We have Tribal on the Celts and GamesGod on my beloved Dravidians.
Sorry.
Now, does GamesGod know how to play Dravidians? That I don't know. GamesGod can play all civs. How good is it with certain ones? I'm not sure, because Dravidians are definitely not a standard civ. Lacking knights is especially painful. Also building a barracks. Tribal isn't feudal. It does not have enough food to go up to castle age, but it's making 2 archery ranges, so good old Tribal. The tried and tested skirm meta, I would expect. Skirmisher in the queue, here we go. Tribal never change, never change. And GamesGod going for a stable with Dravidians. Okay then, GamesGod. Maybe you don't know how to play this civ. I mean, a scout start could work with Dravidians. You just have to switch out of it. Okay. And an archery range. So, it doesn't have anyone on gold. So, it won't have the gold for archer production. It does have the mining camp at least. Sadness, that is a good comment. I believe that is actually something. One of the problems that this map still has, the elevation can sometimes be pretty punishing and constrict the space of the AIs. That is something I might look into for the next tournament. What is that? What is that, a tower? Let me guess. Tribal still has not found GamesGod, so it doesn't know where to build its towers. Let me check that. No, it has found. Actually, so what is that tower then? Is it even building it? Like, what is that? Tribal, what is that? I'm not sure. So, we have some fighting. Now, maybe the Dravidian scout opening was the right choice, because scouts are good against skirms, but Tribal is wisely making some spearmen as well, and those scouts get shredded. Also making skirmishers now, itself. And that tower is way too late. It's a good spot GamesGod, but too late. Unless it can fend this off right here. Oh, the spears are not going for the scout. Oh, they are, okay. So if this scout goes down, Tribal should be pushing in here. It has a massive military advantage right now, 13 versus 15. Using its starting scout, a lot of skirmishers, adding archers now as well. Infantry armor upgrade, okay, for the spears, I guess. Has already fully upgraded its skirms. And like I predicted, this tower was too late, will not go up. And Tribal seems to be winning the game already in feudal age. None of them decided to go for the castle age. They decided to fight in feudal, and Tribal's faster start with the tried and tested skirm meta, skirmisher spam. Well, it's been working for 10 years, why change it now, right? It still works. In 2025, skirm meta. I believe skirms actually got nerfed recently. The training time was increased, if I recall correctly, from 22 to 26 seconds, something like that. So very minor nerf to the skirm meta, but a nerf nonetheless. As you can see, it's still strong. And GamesGod is now in the doom spiral of no military, or it has military, but the military is actually garrisoned, but nowhere near enough to fight this off. And the death spiral of villagers idle under the TC, running back and forth. That usually means game over. Will I call it here? Not quite yet. But it looks pretty over. I might at least increase the game speed to debug speeds. Are we at 4 times? I've increased it in game. to oh, no, we're on 4 times. No? You see here 4 times, okay. Does it stay that way if I do it on normal speed, or do I have to? No. In-game I've got it on 4 times speed. So you have to actually increase it in capture age as well. I guess capture age is not designed for debug speeds. But GamesGod is pretty much dead. Tribal has also clicked up to the castle age. Will GamesGod resign? Maybe when it sees castle age. Maybe earlier. It has ungarrisoned finally. Getting a little bit laggy for me, but it's only the 1v1. It might be problematic once we get to the 4v4s and I have to speed it up, but I probably won't speed it up then. But yeah, this game's over. Tribal has won. They're just waiting for the resign, which should come soon if GamesGod has good resign rules. Otherwise, I have to call it manually. Archers behind the TC, skirms in front. Pretty much GamesGod's entire economy is idle, except for these 2 builds down here. Knights coming. And GamesGod still has not resigned. GamesGod, if you're watching this, I don't know if you're watching this, probably not. If you are, maybe resign. I know some AIs have horrendous resign rules. I'm not sure if GamesGod is one of them. Okay, Rams are coming for the TC. Might as well let this play out. Rams are coming for the TC. This should be game over any second. Doesn't have any countermeasures to the Rams either, so TC is down. We're just massacred. And resign. No resign. I guess GamesGod is one of these AIs that has horrendous resign rules. Simply will not resign. Down to 7 population. And I'm probably gonna have to call it manually then. Tribal has won. Is this Tribal? Yep, the first game. Now let me capture age off. GG indeed. Jump back into the game, and now we're setting up the second game. Tribal up 1-0. The second one will be a 4v4. And I had GamesGod in the first slots, that's for sure. Where's my GamesGod? GamesGod. Oh, why does it reset my colors? That's annoying. Okay, so I guess I gotta do some setting up here. Guess the E didn't like the way I set up the lobby. GamesGods are on random. Tribals are all on custom. These are all the civs that Tribal should play, or the pre-DE civs. I believe I got this right, just from memory, but I believe so. Now, colors. Let's do them like this. 4v4 GamesGod versus Tribal. Let's not forget the teams. Let's double check these settings again. GamesGod all random, Tribal all custom. Large cheats are on. Looks good. Let's jump into the 4v4. Now I believe I'm probably gonna have to fix the names of the players again in Capture Age. Why isn't Capture Age jumping in? The game is live. In game. Capture Age. Please don't crash. It looks like it crashed. I've paused the game for now. I'm gonna have to restart Capture Age from the looks of it. That's annoying. Let's hope it doesn't crash again. I hope it's not a problem with my PC that I'm running out of CPU or Oh, I might actually be running out of RAM. That's a problem. That is a problem. Let's just check if it crashes. I'm gonna have a serious problem. Game is paused at 40 seconds. Looks okay. All right, let me just, before I run the game, let me just fix the teams, the names. We were in a best of 3 between. This is GamesGod for sure. This is are the names now correct? The names over here. I guess these are the names they have in game, isn't it? Has it worked this time? In game, they actually have the GG. The GamesGods have the GG prefix, like a clan tag. Like you can see here. Actually, if I delete these, does it show the correct ones? No, it does not. Why can't I just copy it? Like you can see here, these names, it clearly detects them. Whatever, I'm just gonna... I guess I have to put it GamesGod. I can leave the tribals because they are showing correct. I can already see that we've got a wild FenCrazy generation. But let's run the game. Is capture age on? Yes. And as you can see, we are off to a wild start. There's already fighting. GamesGod Scout attacking tribal villager. Is it again a land nomad start? With 2 siege workshops? It looks like it. They don't have TCs. They're building lumber camps. So again? Okay, this is wild. Before this is gonna be too chaotic to cast. But GamesGod taking full advantage of starting with a scout in a land nomad start. That is problematic. We also got a strange map generation over here. We once again see GamesGod not using the other scouts. So maybe that scout is just auto-attacking. It's not even anything the AI does. We have 1 GamesGod, no 2 green and teal over here on this disconnected area that's accessible by this ice over here. 2 of the GamesGods over here. The other 2 GamesGods are mixed in with the tribals on this bigger landmass. There is a lot of fish on this map. If someone decides for docking here, that would be a very good call and a big advantage. Normal fish amounts from the looks of it, but I don't know if we're gonna see it. Okay, trees have about double the wood they normally have. What is that tribal? Any critical bug expected, Ilu? What are you talking about, tribal? Come on, Ilu, what is this trash talk? Esti, did you add this in just for the tournament, knowing that I'd see it? What is that? Come on. Oh, I'm definitely gonna 1v1 you after this. You bet. These tribals just hacked on an outpost. Now, how many villagers did the tribal lose that got attacked? It looks like it was the red tribal that has lost 3 villagers, so it's massively handicapped. They once again started with 6 villagers. So that is 1 tribal that has half the amount of villagers. Oh, we've got a critical bug for GamesGod here. Blue, what's the problem? What is your problem, Blue? Do you not have a lumber camp?
Yay.
Blue, do you not have a lumber camp?
Mandatum?
I guess maybe not. So,
Ready.
critical bug indeed. Twitch chat obstructing in-game chat. Okay, maybe I can actually turn off the Twitch chat. You're right, it might be in the wrong spot. Let me just turn it off for now. I might find a better position for it later. Okay, tribals villagers from the yellow one, right next to the critically bugged blue, have decided they don't want to build the TC, they would rather hack down Gray's siege workshop. And yes, cheese on toast, blue does have wood for a lumber camp. for some reason, it's just not building it. It started with 200 wood, same as everyone else. Still have that. But for some reason, it now builds one. So that is indeed a critical bug. Does everyone else have a TC? Tribal, orange and purple do. Where's tribal red? Tribal red was the handicapped one. Green GamesGod built its TC over here. Green GamesGod started over here with his lumber camp, so it walked a long way. Same for teal. They both had their lumber camps over here, so they walked a long way to drop their TCs. And Grey, on the other hand, walked to where they had their lumber camps. Switching position for some weird reason. Also, one of them is Hans. That's a Grey GamesGod. It has now the Hunnic horse that spawned when it built the TC, but it's not using it. What about the sheep? Sheep about normal food amounts. Pushing deer is a good idea. And they have a lot more food than even a boar. So 472, that is a juicy piece of venison there. These as well. All of the deer seem to have a ton of food. So whoever is taking advantage of that is going to be well advised. And sheep are definitely unevenly distributed. As you can see, yellow hogging a lot of sheep. GamesGod scouts are still harassing villagers occasionally. These two GamesGods are in close vicinity to yellow. Blue is critically bugged, so blue is out. But what about red? Red is the one tribal that has not built a TC yet. It's down to 2 villagers because it lost them to GamesGod's early scout. And it looks like it still has... I'm not sure where these villagers are. Can I actually... Oh, they're over here. There's a slumber camp, it's here. Oh, this is a problem, because GamesGod Scout is actually hovering around here. That's so... I'm pretty sure that is not on purpose, but... You could be... That scout might be... might actually be preventing red from doing anything if it kills those villagers, but it's gonna lose it. Is it? Is Yellow gonna garrison again? Okay. Red only has these 2 villagers. Try to gather enough wood for the TC, and now the scout is out of the race. So maybe red will recover after hour, unlike blue, which is critically bugged. Green and teal have now also found a good amount of sheep. What about orange and purple down here? Idle villagers, I see. Why are these villagers idle? Now that's a good question. Tribal, why are you idle? What are they trying to do? They look like shepherds. Maybe they're trying to take food but don't have enough farms? Is this a farm? Yeah. Grey did not have a lot of sheep, but Grey had these big deer that it was pushing. Has anyone else actually pushed deer? I don't see it. Red lost its scout. Did not steal the sheep, but Grey stole the sheep from teal. The boars don't have any meaningfully broken amount of food on them. Once again... Oh, we have a dog! We finally have a dog! What are these sheep doing here? Anyway, we have a dog for orange tribal and fishing ships, but this fishing ship is idle. I wonder, is this the bug default behavior that people have been complaining about? Okay, looks like this fishing ship is trying to explore or something. This fishing ship is taking shorefish. The dock is not in a good spot. It's a long way away from any deep fish. But it is a dock. Scouts are being lost. We only have 2 GamesGod scouts and 2 tribal scouts alive. And the first GamesGods are actually reaching feudal age faster than the tribals. This could be a GamesGod victory, despite blues critically bugging. We have all of the GamesGods reaching feudal age a lot faster than any of the tribals. Now the tribals are up. How's their food looking? They should be able to click up relatively soon. Red did get its TC up. It has its 2 villagers here. It has 1 sheep. I'm not sure if Red is gonna recover into this game. Judging from its position, sandwiched between all of the GamesGod, there's Grey here and teal and green here. Red is probably, if I had to call it, still out of the game.
Mandatum, yay.
Will blue ever unbug? I personally doubt it, unless it gets slung some wood for TC. It never built a lumber camp from the start of the game, so it has not done anything all game. Natural food sources are starting to run out. We've got farming. Looks like everyone is farming, but Tribal has a lot more farms, but a lot slower up to fuel age. They're only now clicked up. Tribal. 2 of them. So Purple also has a dock. Same spot once again. Far from any deep fish, but it is basically free economy that GamesGod is not taking advantage of. Maybe an advantage for Tribal down the line, but not yet. What about GamesGod? Have you done anything with your faster fuel age? You have not. I don't see any military on the board. Did they not have enough wood to make any buildings? No, they have. No, maybe not. One of them has a barracks. I don't see any production buildings. Military production buildings, that is. Sure, they started with 2 siege workshops, but they cannot take advantage of that in the fuel age. Yellow now. That's Tribal building a barracks. So looks like Tribal getting archery ranges. So GamesGod, come on GamesGod. You had the much faster uptimes to the fuel age, but not taking advantage of it. Blacksmith actually for Grey. So are they now fast castling? And now a dock? That's very late, Grey for dock. That's very late for dock. Green also. Late docks for GamesGod. So GamesGod did go for docks after all, but very late. At least they are in better spots from the looks of it. They have deep fish in the vicinity. Oh, once again, we could see this is a green. Is this green building a lumber camp, mining camp here? Is this green or teal? I think it's green. So yeah, they're building buildings all over the place. Might be not perfectly adapted to the nomad start. Once again, we have some idle villagers from GamesGod now. This teal one, it's not building farms. It doesn't have any wood. So teal is... Why is it not taking wood? It has a lumber camp right here. Which for some reason has... I'm not sure, might be bugging. Might be bugging. They also don't have many villagers. Like GamesGod's... Green and teal only have 14 villagers. Grey is the only one that's in a good spot. And... Tribal, I guess one of them, yellow, has started making skirmishes. And they're just about to attack here. The others... What's this? Is this car... Excuse me? Yeah. Oh, purple actually fast castled. Okay. That's nice. Finally someone fast castled. And it's going straight for the boom. No military at all for purple. 1 dock, 2 TCs. So just booming for now. Orange also... Orange did make a lot of skirmishes, but they are only now moving out. And yeah, looks like another tribal victory here. Whoa, 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 blue unbugged. I guess somebody did sling blue, but blue is down to 3 villagers. It's finally building a TC. Is it gonna do anything with it? I don't know. Red is also up to 12 villagers and still undisturbed here. We can see that tribal's villagers are running back and forth between basically 2 opposite corners of the map. So extremely inefficient for the GamesGods here, this economy. This map generation really did not favor them. And now that the skirmishers are in the eco, looks like game over once again. Even red might recover. Blue, probably not. It might get its TC up, but after that, green and teal are already dying. Is it up to Grey to carry? Can Grey do anything? Grey is not even up to castle age. It is Hans. Yeah, yellow skirms, orange skirms. So we can assume that... Oh, a fire galley even on GamesGod, but it's not doing anything. I guess it should be scouting these docks if it could and harassing the fishing. But I don't think it is doing that. Skirmishers tanking TC fire is absolutely fine if you're that far ahead. All of their economies are basically idle. Blue's TC is up. It's making villagers. Okay, it's great. Actually, the Fire Galley seems to have found an opportunity to rest some red villagers. But red still has wood here. It can take some food here and farm. Orange also up to Castle Age. Elite skirmishers. And yeah, it looks pretty over to me. The only redemption for GamesGod could be Grey, but Grey has just done nothing. It's not made any military. I guess it's made some fire galleys, but it's not clicked up to Castle Age. It clicking up now, okay. Going for stables, so maybe knights will enable the comeback, but I don't see it, no. I mean, with two of the tribals already in Castle Age, they already have Castle Age upgrades. Do they? Elite skirmishers? I guess it's gonna upgrade the crossbows here, so Orange is gonna have crossbows with botkin arrow and even +2 armor. Okay, we have some of the GamesGods are putting their naval military to use, but it's not gonna make much of a difference versus this many crossbows. The odd fire galley or two isn't gonna do anything, and Tribal is even microing them down. Hold up, let me see if I can reposition the Twitch chat to... I don't know. Over here, maybe? Maybe this works without obstructing chat. Well, it's gonna obstruct something else then. I don't know. Just gonna leave it somewhere. Yeah, demo ships might have made a difference there. Skirmishers are they finally retargeting to Grey? Grey is in Castle Age. It has one stable, one archery range, once again. But not making any military on land. Like some knights at least would be better than nothing. But it's not making anything. Here, Orange is still taking care of teal and green, teal and green. I mean, they still have 16 and 23 villagers respectively, but they are mostly idle. So I don't expect them to get anything done. Maybe these crossbows could die if they keep walking under the TCs. Or red has managed to click up the feudal age. That's big. It has not taken any damage. Grey now, finally making military, but it's knights and archers. Knights and archers. Like, just a mix. One archery range, one stable, knights and archers. It's like the most basic, no commitment strategy you can do. It's like... it's like a Peterson strategy or something. So definitely not a good approach by GamesGod. I don't see it winning this. It got a villager kill here. That's something. I think it's just a matter of time until yellow finds its way over here and does damage. I guess it's chasing down a single villager. The tribals continue to boom. And who just made it up to Castle Age? Somebody did. I'm gonna adjust a bit more about my setup right now, because the game's pretty much over. I'm gonna take this time and change a few things, so that I have better visibility. Nope. Okay, that should be better. My game is getting extremely laggy now. I'm not sure my PC is quite able to handle 4v4, capture age and streaming. I might have to do 4v4s without capture age. Because it is getting very laggy. Well, it's still working at least. It's not crashing now. But the TCs are down here from teal and green. Blue actually, you know, in a better spot than teal and green. Who would have thought? But it's about to be dead. It got up to 13 villagers. 14 villagers, quite the achievement after critically bugging out at the start. But it's about to be over for blue as well. Yeah, and Grey's under attack. Grey has no military, it has 1 mangonel, 1 cav archer. And it looks like my game... No! Defeated! Capture age crashed. But blue was defeated. That's why... Okay, blue was defeated in game and capture age crashed. That's interesting. I'm learning new behaviors about capture age now, because as we know, capture age is definitely not made to spectate single player games. So we see some bugs with it. Blue was defeated here. Blue was defeated. And as soon as that happened, capture age just crashed. I guess it couldn't handle that because blue is player 1. That's basically me for all intents and purposes in game. Buh, buh. What are you saying, Tribal? I didn't have anyone selected. It's single player, bro. It's single player. Of course it's gonna treat me as blue. Yeah, I guess. No. I didn't change it. I guess I could change player actually. Are these still the commands like in user patch? What was it? Control Shift F? Control Shift F5. Now I'm red. Control Shift F6. Now I'm yellow. Yeah, it's still the same hotkeys as user patch. So yes, I did have blue selected, I guess.
No.
Now the Twitch chat is definitely in the wrong position again. I know. Maybe I'll just not use capture age, I guess. I put the Twitch chat back up here. I put my my own stream overlay. I gotta reposition that as well. So yeah, I guess capture age not made for this kind of thing. Maybe if capture age devs are aware that we're using it like this, they might fix it. For now, capture age not really usable, I'm afraid to say. And I guess some of it is definitely the fault of my PC being a bit outdated. I believe it's 2016, 2017, so it's getting up there in years. And having three computationally expensive applications running at the same time, it was quite at the limit with RAM and CPU. This is definitely a lot smoother now. Maybe I'm just not able to use capture age for this tournament. It's a shame. It is what it is, but back in the day we didn't use capture age either. So we're gonna be just fine. Yeah, fuck the fancy technology. We're back to old school, and I guess green was defeated. Maybe. Green, who would green be? Would it be F2? Yeah. Oh, green still has population. I don't know what it is. I am green though, aren't I? Yes, I am green. So green resigned actually. It was not defeated. As you can see, it still has population. But yeah, game's over. Grey has nothing left either. Grey would be Control Shift F4. We have 3 villagers, no TC. We have a lumber camp. Not anymore. Yeah, it's game over. GG. Okay then. I guess I don't have score overlay because I was using the capture age for that. So, but it's a 2-0 tribal one. We can reflect that in the brackets. Tribal, oh, I was on caps lock. Tribal 2, GamesGod 0. Big L. Tribal wins round first. That means, oh, you remember Tribal asking at the start of the game for Ilu 1v1 me? Yeah, we're gonna see that next round in the game, in this tournament. Tribal versus Ilu will be the second round of the upper bracket on that side. GamesGod, on the other hand, goes down to the losers bracket. And on which side? Upper 1B would be here. So we've got GamesGod down here. It will play versus the loser of the second round upper bracket on default side. Now, if we're not using capture age, that means my setup, the way I envisioned it, is obviously kind of fucked. I'm gonna have to rethink it, and I'm gonna have to change it up. So I will not be doing the second match today. I might do it tomorrow or on the weekend. But first I have to revamp my stream setup. I'm gonna reuse some of this stuff I still have left over from the old tournaments, where I had a setup actually with where I had my own overlay with my own scoreboard and so on. I'm gonna have to put that back in and use that instead of capture age. And we're gonna go old school. I'm gonna change my stream up again, and next time we'll be back with the highlight of the first round of FenCrazyThing, Naga versus Brightspark. Two AIs which could be favorites here, but are seeded in 4th and 5th. And that's going to be a much more exciting match. I would think that Tribal GamesGod. GamesGod really did not put up a good fight here. But Naga Brightspark will be exciting indeed. I'll see you next time on FenCrazyThing 9. See you.